If you've been meditating or doing a spiritual practice for years and something still feels off or disconnected, there's actually a name for that, and it's not an awakening symptom. Let me tell you about the difference. It happened on Good Friday. I woke up and Spirit was talking to me like usual, and I heard them say, "Don't panic." And then I was like, "Oh crap, what's gonna happen that I need not to panic about?" So I had actually been waiting to hear back from a job interview, and things had been looking good, and I thought I would hear back from them that day, and I didn't, and 6 p.m. passed, and I panicked. So I didn't listen, of course. Um, and so I did what every spiritually evolved and mature adult does. I smacked a wall with both of my palms. Kind of hurt. I don't recommend that. Punch a pillow softer. That wasn't my best moment, I'll admit, but I want you to understand that I've been doing this work for a long time. I've done a lot of healing work, I've done a lot of meditation. Spirit talks to me every day, but I still smacked the wall because I had reached my limit. I have hit my wall, right? Pun intended. And what happened afterward is the whole point of the video. I cried, I let it out, and it wasn't just the job, but it was everything that had been building, the financial stress of being laid off for a few months and running out of time, and just everything culminating at that point. And I just let it all out. And then I found my way back to center. That is the actual process, not this just breathe through it method. There's a belief in the spiritual community that nobody really talks about because it looks like growth, seems like growth, but it's not growth. There's a psychotherapist back in the 80s named John Welwood who was working with some of his most devoted clients. These were people who had been meditating and doing spiritual practice for years. He noticed something though, that the more spiritually aware they became, the more emotionally distant they got. He called it spiritual bypassing. Now, this is when you go around your pain using meditation, spiritual techniques, instead of going through your pain. And it feels exactly like spiritual growth when you're doing it. Something bad happens, you breathe through it, and you rise up above it, and then your nervous system goes, bye. Your nervous system doesn't understand concepts. Its language is more, am I safe? Am I here? Can I trust this body? Every time you use a spiritual technique to bypass an emotion, your nervous system will catalog that emotion as unfinished or unresolved. My cat Sugar Plum actually does this thing where if I'm petting her for too long, she'll shake really fast, and I always tease her like she's shaking off the people germs, but she's actually doing what we were designed to do, which is to discharge that emotion to complete the cycle. Humans don't do that for some reason. We interrupt it, but that emotion doesn't just disappear. It lives in your jaw, your back, your shoulder. The meditation didn't fail you, but you may have been using it as an escape route instead of a home. I watch a lot of spiritual teachers online, and a lot of them will say to people to just breathe through something, just exhale, right? That can be useful in the moment, but it doesn't fix the underlying issue. What happens is somebody will try to breathe through it, but then the emotions are still there and they lose it or smack a wall or do something, and then they feel guilty that they didn't handle it correctly in their mind. People get into spirituality thinking that they need to become some kind of stoic monk, right? And become untouchable, like nothing can bother them. And that's just not reality. Monks live in monasteries where there's not a whole lot of stimulus, whereas We have, partners and bosses and children. Oh my, right? Okay, that's not a spiritual failure. It's just Wednesday. So, what is real grounding then? Real grounding is more of a physical thing. The floor under your feet, or a calm voice, or your eyes landing on something in the room. So here's how to do this. Plant your feet in the ground, and we're not going to imagine roots or anything, but just feel the hardness of the floor under your feet. Feel the temperature if you're barefoot. Look around the room and see 5 things that you can point to. The picture frame, the cat sleeping on the chair, the blue mug, whatever it is. Say those things out loud. You're not ascending anywhere, you're here. And here's where the healing actually lives. This comes before meditation, not after it, before. Because a dysregulated nervous system will take your meditation and go further and further away. You'll feel peaceful when you're done, but an hour later, you'll feel like you'll need to meditate again. But sometimes you don't need more meditation. You need to go for a walk or a jog or scream into a pillow or whatever it is you need to do, and then come back to center. So feel it, move through it, come back. You can't transcend what you haven't faced. The light isn't above your pain, it moves through it. Meditation isn't the issue, but if you've been using it to leave a house that hasn't been cleaned yet, come home first. Feel the weight of your own body on the surface beneath you. Sit with an emotion before handing it off to God or the universe. Stay with it, cry if you need to, and then come back to center. If this feels relevant to you and you've been doing the work and something has still felt off and you didn't know what it was until now, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just being asked to go deeper than the surface level of this work has ever taken you. That's what Healing Without Wings is here for. I'll see you in the next one.